If you're having trouble losing fat on low calories, here's why. So up here, I have a chart representing CICO, which is calories in versus calories out. As you can see in the very middle, you have a maintenance line, which represents your maintenance calories. And on the left and on the right, you have your deficit ranges and you have your surplus ranges. Now, what most people don't realize is that that maintenance line can actually move both left and right, changing your maintenance calories. This is known as metabolic adaptation. So here's an example of your maintenance line moving more so to the left as one has been in a deficit for a prolonged period of time. So if we are to look at CICO from a very surface level understanding of it, meaning that if we just reduce our calories further, then we'll be in a deeper deficit, this can be very problematic because if we go too low, we begin to run into some internal health issues. So here's an example of your maintenance line now moving far, far to the left, now entering the red zone of that end range. Most people don't realize that a deficit is actually a stressor on the body. And if we are to put our body into a prolonged period of chronic stress, then it begins to fight back against us, which includes making fat loss much, much harder. So above me is the pregnenolone pathway, and for those that don't know what this is, pregnenolone is a precursor hormone that can either convert into progesterone, which is on the left, or DHEA, which is on the right. To make things easier for you, here's a watered-down version of it. So if we look on the left, you see the word cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone, which is both good and bad. It's good in acute amounts, it's bad in chronic amounts. If your calories are too low for too long, the pregnenolone pathway will begin to bias the cortisol pathway, which will produce more cortisol. As cortisol begins to accumulate more and more in the body, your systemic inflammation will rise up. And if you couple this with the fact that you've been consuming very little calories for a prolonged period of time, it is going to make fat loss much, much harder because your body under stress will hold on to those fat. Additionally, fitness-borne diseases such as PCOS can develop from chronic dieting, such as I've described, because it does affect the other adrenal pathways. Now, if you've been following me, then you know that I've been making videos talking about how you can eat more and lose more fat. The reason for this is that as you begin to eat more, as you see highlighted on this chart, that maintenance line will begin to move back towards the center into the green. And this will, as a result, reduce your chronic stress and chronic cortisol. Additionally, as a result, due to metabolic adaptation, your maintenance line can begin to move more towards the right, therefore giving you higher amounts of calories to maintain your body on. Understand that during this process of eating more food, you are going to get stronger, you're going to feel better, you can build more muscle, and the more muscle you build, the more fat you're able to lose because muscle is metabolically expensive. Hope this helped, and hit that plus sign for more.